All right, guys, and welcome back to Yoast Built. So, after the last video, we got the nitrous EK running beautifully. I decided to start working on this thing again. So, if this is the first time to Yoast Built, this is a neon ACR. And let me flip the camera around here and I'll tell you a little more about it. So, if you watched the last video on the neon ACR, you will know that we put a 60-62 eBay Spoolie Boy on it. But for a little background on the car, if you guys have never seen the car on the channel before, or you're very interested in a first-gen neon, this is a 1998 neon ACR. So the ACR is, of course, a race package, kind of like the Viper ACR, but for the Econo neon. So this car has a ton of stuff done to it. This car has a full cage. It is on a Mega Squirt 2 standalone. It has spherical front bushings and the whole suspension. As you can see, the EBC yellow pads right there. It has Brembo rotors on it. Of course, a set of TE37s. It is on a set of custom coilovers that with custom top hats. They have custom spring rate ground control, and then they're on a Coney shock. The motor itself is a 2-liter piston and rod motor. It has a set of Crane 14s in it, AEM cam gears, as you can see, custom intake manifold, all AN fuel lines, a set of 1000cc injectors, of course, a large front mount intercooler. It actually sticks out the bumper right here a little bit. Not really my style, but the car came that way. Billet throttle body. It has a tubular manifold back here, and then, of course, the wastegate on the top. So, the car also has a twin disc in it, and it also has a 394 HD gear set transmission with a LSD. Now that you know about the car, let's get to a little backstory on it. So, we bought this car from Tampa, Florida. The car has never ran right ever since we got it. We looked into the tune. We found out that the tune was way off. It didn't even have a map for boost. It was set up for 2000cc injectors when the car only had FIC 1000s in it, which aren't in it anymore. The car was setting with E85 for more than 2 to 3 years. So we completely removed the tank. We pulled the fuel lines all apart, cleaned everything out, cleaned the fuel rail out, and then we put it back together. So since then, we really haven't done much with the car because the first time we stuck it on the dyno and I started dialing in the tune, the old GT3076 exploded. That's why we ended up with a 60-62. And then for the fuel pumps on this car, you have a 255 intake feeding an A1000 underneath the car. So now that you know the whole backstory on the car, we can get to doing some pulls. The wastegate spring is only 8 pounds. It is a 2-liter motor. It is not punched out any bigger. So it's probably going to make 240, 250 wheel horsepower. It also has a full exhaust, carbon hood, carbon trunk, and like I said, pretty much every piece for the suspension you could buy for it. So it is not that loud. It is kind of overkill, but I love it. I have an actual soft spot for these neons, and let's get to tuning. So guys, as I was saying in the intro, this is pretty much a very overkill car, but I've already been tuning it a little bit. I got it to run pretty good. I just threw a new set of plugs in it. I'm gonna do one pull, read the plugs. Like I said, it's on right about 9 to 10 pounds, and then we will try to turn up the boost. But I actually just wanted to show you on video, basically a little bit of about the car and at least 1 or 2 pulls to show you what it does. So after that, we got 234 horsepower and 204 foot-pounds of torque. As you can see, the pull is pretty smooth. The airfield's got a little lean up top, so I let out early, but you heard the pop, which is the soft or hard limiter cut. It was right around 7,500 RPMs. But I'm going to do a lot of tuning off camera, and then if I turn it up, I'm going to get back on the camera and show you a pull turned up a little bit. Well, boys, this video is going to be a short one. She still runs, but I did a few more pulls. I went to turn up the boost, and you see that right there. See how it starts leaning out? We lose all fuel pressure. So at 10 psi of boost, the regulator is 1-to-1, so it should add 1 pound of fuel pressure, you know, for each pound of boost. As soon as you hit around 11 psi, the fuel pressure will hold steady at 45, 50-ish, and then it just starts tanking. I didn't notice it. I actually did a couple of pulls, and then I kept adding fuel, but it kept leaning out. And experienced tuners would have questioned it right away. I'm not that experienced, so hey, you live and you learn. But we do have a fuel pressure gauge inside the car, and I watched it during the pull, and the boost was at like 15 pounds, and at 70, like 200 RPMs, we were down to like 20 psi of fuel pressure. So even though it has that Aeromotive A1000, which is more than capable of flowing enough with the 1000cc injectors, I'm pretty sure the 255 that's in the tank is the restriction. So the Neon motor's good, the transmission's good, clutch is good. Didn't overheat. We did like 20 something dyno pulls, trying to set up the Mega Squirt properly and everything. Actually found out that the Mega Squirt has a boost controller with a MAC valve, but it's underneath the windshield cowl. Been finding out stuff about the car. Like I said, I didn't build the car, but I've been trying to fix it. So you actually just heard the fuel pump change right there. So we're gonna have to investigate. That'll probably be another video of fixing the Neon fuel system, so we can crack over 400 horsepower. I think the highest pull we made was like 250 horsepower, and that was only on 9 psi. So this thing at, you know, with a 60 millimeter turbo on 20 to 22 pounds should make somewhere in the 400 horsepower range. But without fuel, you can't make any power. So that'll be the end of this video. Hope you guys enjoyed the 1 or 2 little pulls I did. Can't always have a good day at the dyno, like Brent says. Sometimes they come in and you just gotta fix more stuff. So as always, if you haven't subscribed to Yoast Built, please do. Go down, click the little subscription bell, and until the next one, you guys are the greatest.